Hey guys, it's Mike Monte, one half of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. And we want to reach out to all the fans out there who have supported our show to say thank you. Thank you for making 2021 one of our best years. And one of our best years was because of Anchor. Anchor, the way that you can have your voice heard. You can be just like us. Record your own podcast. Use the Anchor tools to edit your podcast. Use it on a phone. Use it on your computer. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all with Anchor, they're totally free. So be just like Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh. We're looking together for a great 2022. We've got huge guests coming on board. Oh, yeah. You probably wonder why Jimmy's not here right now. Well, he's prepping for one of the best interviews we're about to have, and we're going to surprise someone with. So hang aboard with us, and don't forget, be like us and use Anchor.
Anyway, with Phil Brooks,
His name is not Phil Brooks, it's CM Punk. How many times do I have to repeat this to you? I'm sick and tired. What the hell's that?
I don't know.
I think somebody's at the door.
Hey, you can't even film stuff without people knocking.
Well, that's the way of the world. Who is it?
But don't start personally insulting me.
Huh?
But don't start personally insulting me.
Hannibal! Oh, no! Not that way! There!
Leg number 3, where we have the honor of having the great Man Mountain Rock / Maxx Payne in studio. But first, Matty, how you holding up, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good.
He found the mic.
What are you eating over there, pal?
I got some chicken franchise.
Chicken. What do you grade that chicken franchise, please?
What?
Give me a grade.
I haven't touched it yet.
You don't know what chicken?
No, I haven't gotten to touch it.
You've never heard of chicken? We're gonna discuss this in a little.
Whoa.
Cool.
Are you crazy?
Well, I've kind of been a vegan for the last 4 years. Now I'm
Well,
a
that's good
vegetarian.
for you. That's
Well, I had to because I was in trouble. So physically had to do some things, or pretty soon you're going to be pushing up the daisies.
I'll share with you. I had a heart attack about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's kind of the same kind of example.
Okay. So
I got diabetes, and
I ate myself into diabetes.
Yeah.
No, he's laughing.
Well, I was
Hey,
there.
why not?
I was there for the whole thing. Here, have another White Castle. Go ahead.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
so you changed your diet.
Hey,
I will tell you this: when I changed my diet,
Yeah.
it made totally
ch-
my blood
yeah.
work
Yeah.
totally changed.
Oh, it saved my life.
Yeah.
Oh, when I went vegan, it absolutely.
Wait a minute. You quit meat completely?
I did.
How hard?
I thought originally it was going to be a motherfucker. Oh, can I cuss?
Like, what do you eat for breakfast?
Can you cuss?
What? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
What do
yeah.
you eat for breakfast? What does a vegan eat for breakfast?
You know, there's so much good stuff out there, man. It's amazing. I'll tell you something I found too is like, for example, like breakfast cereal.
All right.
As I started changing and getting away from, because I grew up a Butterton. You know, I mean, my mother was convinced that you could put butter on cow shit and it would taste good.
Waffles and bacon.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah,
wow.
it's tough.
All
But
right.
I found that once I pulled away from all the milk product stuff,
Okay.
and I started drinking like I know this sounds crazy, but like I mean I love almond milk. I mean cereal and
That's
almond.
not crazy.
What is with
Look,
almond
here's the
milk?
legitimacy.
It's good,
of it.
man.
There's got to
First
be
of all,
something.
I'll tell you what's even better. It's now they got this new shit out. It's oat milk.
Yes,
That's
excellent.
heavy, like the
Yes.
heavy cream
Yeah.
oat milk.
Yep,
It's
yep.
like
Had this?
Oh yeah, I drink. That's what I drink. So I got down to 212.
So you
Not
let
to
me
make it about
poison
me.
myself, and you're Mr. Health, and he
I'm
thinks
not
he's
Mr.
my
Health.
friend.
I'm not Mr. Health.
What the
So
fuck?
anyway,
you think he'd share the fucking knowledge
Yeah,
anyway,
he's
right?
like busting
it
my
ain't gonna
hole,
make a difference.
and he's eating like
Hold on. I tried to teach him about meal prepping, and he goes,
Meal
you
prepping?
You meal prep? I'm like, yeah. Let me show you. No.
What, like
I'll just
taking
go
this
eat
the
McDonald's.
chocolate off of the yodel and just eating the cake? What are you doing?
So anyway,
But no, Monty, you're so right because you don't
tend to
your whole
concur.
life you fucking eat meat and fucking fat foods and cream and sugar and I just knew it was
But let
time
me
I
ask
had
you
to be
about this.
conscientious.
How about this?
All right.
You know what
How
I
about
mean?
right.
speciesism, right? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
All of a sudden, I'm
Start with
watching
this.
these documentaries about animals, and I'm like,
come on, man.
I can't eat these animals.
That was the biggest one. When I
Good for you.
I actually went to a vegan convention in L.A. My wife and I did.
All right.
And at the time, they were debuting a movie called Dominion, and it was torture. And I love animals. I have my wife is like the neighborhood cat lady, and we have cats like everywhere.
I love cats.
The garage, the backyard, our house. We pick up strays all the
Sure.
time.
Sure.
So
They're lovable.
well, and so when you go, there's some great videos on YouTube that will blow your mind. There's a guy that we sat with at this convention. Anyway, the movie they showed real quick was called Dominion, and it changed my life forever. So if you really want to find out why eating meat is bad for you, it has nothing to do with what it does to your fucking health. If you love animals and you hear pigs screaming as they're being gassed and tortured, if slaughterhouses were made of glass, nobody would eat meat.
Thank you.
And so
Thank
that's
you.
the part that we all have just taken for granted that the meat. And I'll tell you the biggest fucking.
And by the way,
disgrace-
I just want to say something. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite, right? Because I still eat
A little bit.
chicken,
Yeah.
right? And once in a while I'll eat a steak. But I keep promising myself that is it. No more eating animals.
Yeah, I changed and
I'm
went
fucked.
back to being a vegetarian because I can't. It's really tough being without cheese.
Right.
Cheese is the hardest one because, first of all, cheese has drugs in it. It's called casomorphine. I don't know if you know this,
Yeah.
but cheese is one of the most addictive substances on earth, man. And the other thing for me is it works good as an anti-diabetic because I love to eat sugar at night. That's part of my, talk about speciesism, that's who I the fuck am. At 10 o'clock, all of a sudden, a quart of Haagen-Dazs just sounds like the right thing,
No, listen. I get it.
Sounds pretty good right about now.
Doesn't it?
Forget
They got
a quarter
it.
to 10.
And the fuck part is they got it at the hotel, so I'm gonna have to go buy it like this the whole time, So, but the thing is I watched these guys sat next to us at this convention that own a animal sanctuary in Iowa,
Okay.
and about 2 or 3 months after we were there, this guy went back to his farm, and he was trying to show how incredible these cows are so what happens if cows fall off a truck or kick themselves out, get out of a truck or whatever, then they can't take them to the slaughtering house. So a lot of times people just drop animals off at these sanctuaries. I don't know if you know about that, but
Okay.
Anyway, this guy and his wife ran this sanctuary. So he's got this whole barn full of cows, right? And he walks over to them and he does a magic trick where he disappears. So like he's standing in front of the cows, right? Feeding them and talking to them. You should find this on the internet.
Yeah.
It's one of the most amazing things you've ever seen. And when he closes the door and reopens it, he's gone. And you should see these cows. They all run over to the door and go, I swear to God, you'll blow your mind. Where did he go? Wow, that was cool. Where is he? Where is he?
They're acting like people.
No shit, and that's what I'm saying. When you finally realize, I'll tell you another movie that will change your life if you haven't seen it.
Supersize Me?
I saw that one. That changed my life too.
I still eat the number 9 combo.
We just covered that in the last show.
How do you argue that?
Supersize Me. They proved that eating McDonald's,
I saw
which
it.
the Pharaoh
Absolutely.
does, will kill you, but he's still alive.
It hasn't even put a pound on me.
Well, you're lucky.
But I was forced, though, to be fair. I was forced. It's like, the situation I'm in.
Wait a minute, he was forced to eat McDonald's.
No, can I explain? I don't want to take liberties with the person's fridge.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have a fridge in the room I rent. So basically,
Or he's just too lazy to go shop for himself and cook for himself. Whichever way you want to play this, Man Mountain or Maxx. Which way you want to play this, bro.
Maxx! First of all, this is Maxx fucking Payne in my mind.
To quote the great Scott Steiner, I reminded him today. He gave me a line that I carried my whole crew. He said he was doing an interview about me in Memphis, and when we first were in Memphis together, he says, "Maxx Payne, the name says it all."
Yeah,
so I carried that with me.
It does.
See, that makes it.
Argue with Scott Steiner.
You can't. I learned a long time ago.
How is Scott Steiner?
Most people. It's funny because I know this. Most people don't know that their real last name is Rick Steiner.
Okay.
Rick changed his name when he came into the business and converted the whole last name of Rick Steiner into Rick Steiner.
Okay.
So I knew both Scott and Rob Rick Steiner when they wrestled at the University of Michigan, because I wrestled at Iowa State at the same time they were there.
You were top 5 All-American, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
I was. Thank you.
There you go.
And so I knew both of them really well from college days.
So before they were what they were.
Yeah, before they were.
What is Scott, I understand Rick is a legend, but Scott is so polarizing. What is Scott like in real life? I mean... is he anything like that character? Because basically that character you would not approach in any situation.
And it's funny, unless you have a relationship with him.
Okay.
Like today, I don't think of him as Big Papa Pump.
Of course not.
I know him, same with Rob. And I said to Rob today, I said, I hope you don't mind if I call you Rob, because, everybody fucking, so few people know his real name is Rob Ricksteiner.
Right.
That, so... I don't know.
I actually went to high school with a guy that went to school with him in Michigan.
With the Rick Steiners?
Yeah, and with
Rob.
With Rob.
This is.
He said Rob was pretty.
Scott's
crazy.
I'll
tell you, a little crazy.
I'll tell you, Scott's one of those guys. I have every memory I have with him. He's nuts. He's really nuts.
Okay.
So the Big Papa Pump character isn't much of a stretch for him. He's one of those guys. He's truly one of the boys in the sense that if you ain't part of his fucking tribe, you ain't in. That's just the way it is.
All right, we're going to go to commercial break, but I just want to cover a little news article with you, Pharaoh. Matthew Coleman, the dad of who allegedly killed. And by the way, if you didn't know,
article?
This is a great pro wrestling superstar, Mr. Maxx Payne, who's sitting on the couch today.
Right.
Thank you so much.
A.K.A. Man Mountain Rock.
Matthew Coleman, the dad who allegedly killed his kids over tune-in theories and deteriorated rapidly on August 7th. Coleman and his wife, Abby, 35, were packing a family trip. Authorities allege that Coleman abruptly put his 2 kids, Kalo and Roxy, 2 months and 4 months old, into a van, drove away from their Santa Barbara home in California. What? Abby called the police in concern. According to the FBI report, she told authorities that she and her husband have been arguing and there was no marital strife. Long story short, this gentleman, I don't want to call him a gentleman, decided that he didn't want these kids anymore, and he killed them with a spear.
Okay. Can we
spear hunting?
Okay. You know what? You feed me 2 bottles of wine, and you want me to be civil? No. Why don't we put him on television and have him castrated live on television till he bleeds to death? How about that?
I think that's way too kind.
I'm trying to be civil.
No, there's nothing civil about somebody who kills their children. So what do we do with a piece
of shit like this?
You
got two kids, 2 months and 4 months? Was that the ages? I decided I don't want my kids anymore?
2 months and 10 months,
What are you feeding me?
Oh, my God.
Your thoughts?
People. I when it comes to, I watch a lot of the crime shows. I love them, and
sure.
When it comes to killing children,
it comes to killing anybody, but
anybody, yeah. But children's like,
yeah.
Killing. I mean, fuck. It always reminds me of the Pat Benatar song. Hell is for children.
Wow.
It always, this shit, because they always get fucking picked. It's that thing that they're raped, they're killed, and it's such bullshit.
They're helpless.
What do you do with somebody like that? And the truth of the matter is, you know what? So first of all, it would do you no good to just fucking put them in a penitentiary because and for life, because they have they obviously are complete and utter psychopaths that have no concept.
Oh, plus they're getting food and shelter for life. So of taxpayers' money, I don't think so.
My favorite thing on that kind of shit was I always thought it would be great to have like Inmate Island.
Ooh.
And that had
Escape
like
from New York, brother.
Exactly.
Take Manhattan Island, throw them all in there, and have their way.
TV show.
Yeah, you just don't, you never see or hear from them again.
Maxx Payne for president.
Build
a giant wall. Build a giant wall. You employ a whole bunch of guards, right? They're all employed. They just sit on the wall.
Yeah.
That's their job, 8 hours a day. Couple of shifts. Just throw a whole bunch of people. Have at it. Do whatever you want to do with each other.
See, I think you could go one step further and build a big fucking moat around the island and fill it with fucking great whites. So just in case you think you're going to fucking get off, we got some friends out there waiting for you.
Nice.
We make sure they don't get fed very often.
I'm voting for you, brother.
I hate stories. I remember there was a chick named Kathy Smith who I was watching Good Morning America one morning getting ready for work. And she came on there crying about somebody, of course she blamed a black man, had jumped in her car and stolen her children. And I looked at my wife at that time and I said, she's fucking lying. And by the end of that day, she'd confessed to killing her children. And she didn't just kill them. She put them in a fucking Honda Civic and drove them off a boat ramp and watched it slowly go.
Why is it always drowning with these psycho?
I don't know, but
these psycho moms have the same story every time.
So what do you do with that? I mean, that's the question.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going to stop that in society.
Would it be wrong with public executions on television?
Well,
are we getting too far? Or is it just like, you know what? You were a piece of shit. Let's set an example. This is not what you do, and we're going to shame you in front of everybody. How about that?
Well, okay, I like that. It feels good to do that in some way.
It's kind of evil.
It is, but
I'm admitting.
So here's the way I feel about that. I always try to put myself in this position when that happens, and I'm not trying to be theological here, right. But I'm trying to say
someone's got to be sensible.
Nowhere in the New Testament, does he resolve a single issue with violence.
True.
And so,
although he got really pissed when they were selling the wares in the temple,
but that's always the example.
He made a whip out of cord and drove them out.
That's
which
true.
is something I always wonder about. But I digress.
But the truth of the matter is, if there was one, like just right now, if there's one time he was pissed, but he still didn't kill.
Oh, no one showed restraint.
It wasn't like he loaded the AK-47.
No one. I got you. I
have to say, if we're going to believe in if we're going to theologically believe that there's an afterlife and a God for them to answer to, then vengeance is mine, saith the Lord.
Leave it to the greater power.
I think so.
Right, I agree.
Because if we start whacking, that's why the death penalty, in my opinion,
it's rough.
Thou shalt not kill.
Right.
It doesn't say.
I get you.
You don't have the right to make a decision on someone else's life, no matter what.
No matter what.
Right. That's what the Bible
says. So Charlie Manson should have just been given life, and that's the end of that.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. And that is ultimately what happened.
Well, anyway,
but what about
listen? We got to hit a quick commercial break.
Do it.
This is incredible.
Yes.
Maxx Payne in the house.
Yes, sir.
This ain't your ordinary pro wrestling interview.
Payne.
We'll be right back with Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh. I'm not going to go through the usual stick because this is getting crazy here, baby.
See you in an alcoholic second.
Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
Hi, it's John from Under the Table Hot Sauce. I'm here with my friend, the star of the show, Jimmy Farrow.
Yeah, what's up, JB?
Nah, nothing.
It's been a hot summer, and for all your barbecue needs, you can go to underthetablehotsauce.com. 13 unique flavors to choose from, created and bottled in a Long Island kitchen. Underthetablehotsauce.com. Let's go chow, JB.
Let's do it.
All the flavor, twice the burn.
Wrestling fans, now you too can look as cool as Monte and the Pharaoh by wearing the official Monte and the Pharaoh sunglasses at night for $8.99 each. That's only $8.99 each. Now available at monteandthepharaoh.com.
Fine.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh.
And stuff.
And boy, do we have a special guest. We've been excited for this all month.
Yes,
the
sir.
great Maxx Payne.
Thank
Max,
you.
how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm here with you guys. How can I be bad?
Oh, my God. Listen to that. Listen to
Nice.
that.
It's like being at a bar.
Yeah,
So you were at the big event?
I was.
One of the
You
bigger
were.
wrestling things.
It was
and,
great.
It's the biggest thing
First
in
of
New
all,
York,
I'll
usually.
ask you this.
Usually.
And be honest, how does it feel that all these wrestling fans, after all this time, just love you and like you've changed their lives? Like, you know, for a regular schmuck like me,
Fair.
Pharaoh's not a schmuck, but,
Deluxe-
for me,
deluxe
but
schmuck.
I'll say to you is like,
Fair.
how does it feel that you've influenced people's lives and they still remember you after all this time and they want to just get pictures with you and see you and all that good stuff?
You know, there's really no words to describe the spiritual awakening. It really is. I mean, I've been gone for 30 years.
Yeah.
So when Kevin got a hold of me and said, Max, did you know there's people looking for you? And I'm like, really? I've said this before, and when I left the wrestling business, I was fucked up. I was really fucked up, and I was
Because of the business, or
Well, the drugs and everything.
well, you know
the
what?
expectations,
Let's
perhaps?
go with what Monty just said.
Okay.
But
Okay.
But the drug is fucking wrestling. The most addictive, powerful, fucking psyche changing.
not the cocaine,
Not the
steroids,
no, because,
not any
no,
of that shit.
No, because you
The
can.
wrestling
There's
itself.
There's fucking places you can go to get help with withdrawal from that.
Sure,
There's
sure.
places you can go to help
Sure.
you understand how that works in you. When I left the wrestling business, I didn't get out of bed for 3 months. 'Cause
Age when you left.
I was 35.
I just
36.
That's
I
kind of
just
young.
have to interrupt.
Okay.
One fan says something that's very interesting. Off the last conversation,
What do
he
you got?
says, I've always had an idea of replacing dog and horse racing. This is Don the Barber.
Dog
Yep.
and horse
right?
racing.
With having convicted pedophiles and child
Wow.
abusers to fight to death and letting the public gamble on it.
You know, it's in a way expose on. And it's,
Honestly,
I can see.
I love
can,
Don the Barber, but
I can see that
think
though.
It's crazy.
I don't think that's
Well,
that crazy. You're
so-
shaming animals for no reason, and he's saying shame the humans who deserve it.
You know, I think
Interesting.
I think I agree with you on this one, Ramses. Sorry, Farrell.
Ramsey's
Hey,
Farrow.
listen though,
Gotta
fucking
love it.
first
You're
of
on
all,
it.
he's
You
a
gotta
first of all, Ramses is the greatest of all time.
I'm well
so
aware.
that's a fucking huge
As the
compliment.
Pharaoh,
you know, I
that is
didn't
very
call you.
much.
I didn't fucking call you Tutankhamun, who died when he was 19.
You didn't call me Shemp in the world of curly.
Right,
I
right.
got you. Although Shemp rules.
I didn't
let's
call you
not.
CD Alpha or whatever. You know, that's all just
I
fucking
appreciate
Ramses,
it,
man.
sir. Maxx fucking Payne, by the way.
That's it.
I appreciate it. I
You know,
appreciate it.
you know, the wrestling business. I am that guy who is completely the literal definition of addictive personality.
Okay, I can.
So
I
when
understand.
you
I
fucking
understand.
when you know when you go out in front of a crowd every night and you start to feel that, and then This is why the wrestling business is so great. I'm going to go back to what we starred talking about, which is the addiction part, because this is truly the addiction.
Right.
And I'm going to say some shit that I've said before, but I love this comparison because it's so true. I watched a Schwarzenegger movie, Pumping Iron. He talks about how lifting and the comparison between masturbation and those kind of things.
Right.
And I've always said wrestling, when you're a great wrestler, like for example, we were just talking about the match between Macho Man and Steamboat in WrestleMania 3. Right?
It's a bullshit finish, but let me not get into that.
Right.
Go ahead.
So possibly one of the greatest fucking matches in the history of wrestling.
Sure.
You know, when I watched Steamboat talking about that, and what Steamboat said at the end of that interview was so pertinent to everything about wrestling, is he said Macho Man was so fucking proud of what they'd accomplished in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
So the part of that is amazing is when you finally get it. Dickie Murdoch said to me in Japan one time, I said, how long does it think it takes to fucking get good in the wrestling business? He said, honestly, you won't have a fucking clue till you've been in it for 10 years. And at the time I thought, fuck, 10 years, Christ, I hope I'm ready to retire in 10 years, let alone learn the fucking business, right?
And by the way, you were on a rocket ship. You were very quick on your
You had like this burst.
Yeah, and I just pissed everybody off, and that ended up being a huge cost for me. But the point of what I'm trying to say is I consider wrestling, when I finally got to I had some great teachers. Red Bastien broke me in. Rip Rogers, I've read over and over about Rippy. Rippy's probably the greatest living trainer still alive.
You trained with Benoit.
I did. I lived it with Benoit.
What are your memories of him, and what were your emotions when what went down?
Oh, I'll tell you all about it. Let me finish telling you this part about what I said earlier.
Fair enough.
Wrestling is like masturbating the audience.
Absolutely.
You go out there and you take them to, when you take an audience to the point where they're ready to come, and you go, oh no, I'm not letting you have that fucking nut yet. Not until I say it's time.
Right.
You know, when you finally really get that, and you really go out there and have great matches like that, when you finally walk away from 10,000 people a night, 18,000 people a night, I didn't know how to deal with not having, and then of course all the
First of all, I don't think anybody could deal with that, right? Because you played Madison. Look, you played some of the biggest arenas in the world.
Madison Square,
and being a musician,
Sumo Palace,
right? And being a musician yourself, right? And then
you
playing
already
wrestling.
understood the entertainment factor being a musician.
That's got to be hard to get over, right?
Oh, it's like, impossible. I'm still not over it now. I still have fantasies. Fuck, I've been talking about Taker. I always thought Taker and I could have a hell of a run.
Right.
You know, two big badass motherfuckers. Because I always thought I had a pretty good punch, and Taker had a great fucking punch.
Do you think they put the wrong gimmick on you, though?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I wished I saw Stone Cold talk about the same thing. I wished I would have done what he did. I would have garnered a shitload
What
more respect.
would you have called yourself, and what would you have done to tweak what you feel went wrong?
I wouldn't have let him not let me be Maxx Payne.
You want to be Maxx Payne?
Because
that's why I'm calling him Maxx fucking Payne.
And the whole deal
you
was
wanted to be Maxx Payne?
Yeah.
all along.
Yeah.
And I let Vince put Man Mountain Rock on me, and I
what was that conversation like? Did he come to you?
Yeah.
Did he say, I'm going to call you man? What did you say to him? Did you try to fight for Maxx Payne?
Wait a minute, to add on, just before you think about this.
You did.
You were a musician at heart.
Yeah.
Vince could feel it.
Yep.
Right? He feels that.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me go to this guy's strength, right? Because Maxx Payne was a different character.
So Man Mountain
Maxx
Rock
Payne was a Cactus Jack type of character.
Yep.
He, being Vince, said,
but
look,
Cactus
this is this
Jack
guy.
wasn't broken yet.
Well, they told me the reasoning behind not doing it was because I looked too much like Taker. And I've always said, that's not fair. That's not fucking fair. Not look like him, but my gimmick was dark.
Right. It was
and
dark.
Right.
Okay.
And so, we talked about this. I love Mark with all my heart. I think Mark's amazing. I would never say anything to degrade Mark in any way, shape, or form. All I've ever said.
Mark Calloway, The Undertaker, was good to you.
Oh, fuck yeah. He's always been good to me.
Okay.
I don't know him that well. I really don't.
Well, what you knew of him. Okay.
I went to Memphis, and Mark followed me in Memphis as the Master of Pain.
Right.
So
right.
It was one of those things where, I guess, forgive me, I felt, so Taker comes here, and he does his thing, but I can't come and be who I am because I'm not going to take nothing away from Taker.
I thought you were distinctively different from
That's
him.
what I thought. So that's the
fair.
part. I guess what really just fucking was hard for me is when they walked in with tie-dyed. I'm not a fucking hippie.
Right.
I mean, I like tie-dye. Don't get me wrong.
Did you try to argue with Vince?
Oh yeah, I tried really hard. He just said no.
You and Vince alone in the room?
And what's really fucked up about the whole deal is in my contract, they tried to take Maxx Payne in my contract and take the name from me so I could never use it again publicly. It was in my contract.
Which is a very interesting. No, because it's smart.
Yeah.
It was a very smart move, right? Because they
buried the Maxx Payne character.
Look, I'm kind of jumping over, but from what I understand, you had sued a couple of companies.
That was later.
Right.
That was after the business.
But the reason they wanted that was because they're smart. They're trying to lock down names. This is smart business. This is a guy, and look,
but
to be fair,
they were invested in him.
Hold on. If
right?
I'm the machine that's pushing you, that you get to go in Madison Square Garden.
Oh, it makes sense.
I want rights to that.
that.
And guess what? If it continues on, I want the money for it because I'm the one that's pushing you.
But why?
Look, John Cena, look, it's just about this great icon, but John Cena said, he made me.
Yeah,
that deserves my name.
Listen, Cena gets it.
He
okay,
he's actually owns my name because he deserves it.
And that's what. And honestly,
why he would.
Because he didn't. You're nailing it. You guys are nailing it. You're right on.
But why would he want that kind of ownership? Believe in him enough to want that kind of ownership and give him a short push.
Listen, man. Let me tell you something. In fairness, there's a whole lot behind this story.
Okay.
That you guys don't know.
Who did you get in fights with behind the scenes?
I will tell. I'll give you as quick a rundown as I possibly can.
All right, good. No, take your time.
Detail is fine.
When I moved to Atlanta and to be in the WCW.
What year?
This was 1993, January. I think it was when I did Super Brawl 3 in '93.
Join the timetable.
Right.
Okay.
So. I talked to Bill Watts after I was in Germany. I was in Germany for 2 seasons with Otto Vons. And I talked to Bill Watts. Rip Rogers got Bill Watts on the phone for me.
Chop to the chest.
Yes, you know it.
Rip Rogers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Real quick. You need to be chopped in the chest.
Did you know that some people think that you're not in this business until you've been chopped in the chest? God damn! Sue me now, bitch! Unless you've been chopped by Rich Rod. What do you think? Rip Rogers? That's how you get in the business?
Rip's another one of those guys who is so misunderstood.
Sorry.
He's really a misunderstood guy in some
ways.
No,
that's not a knock on Rip Rogers. Trust me.
No, I know you're not. I know you're not.
I'll tell you off air.
I know you're not. Rip's one of those guys that.
Right. Rip Rogers is cool, man.
He's a polarizing dude.
Cool,
you either
man.
love him or you
cool
fucking hate him, and I love him because he never did anything but good by me.
Okay.
In fact, he's the one that encouraged my gimmick.
Okay. So what happened behind the scenes?
So I don't want to go up.
Let's get back to behind the scenes.
Okay, so here's what happened. When I went to Atlanta, I already had an idea. So I had an idea for a band since I was 8 years old.
Okay.
That's a long story. I'm not going to tell you that.
Real quick, instrument?
Guitar.
Next.
And so
that works.
I wanted to have this band revolve around the words living insanity.
Okay.
And the question is living insanity 3 words or 2 words?
Wow.
So that's why I wanted to do this band, because let me just tell you this. We'll save this conversation for another day.
Okay.
But I was born and raised in a mental hospital.
Nice.
And
nice.
And so
lots of my family was in the mental hospital. But
well, my mom worked there, and so
that's even better.
I was like an only child, and so from the time I was a kid.
You hang out after the show. But
it was fucking great.
Oh, okay.
I have such great. In fact, a particular story brought up this living insanity thing.
Okay.
And I realized when I was about 8 years old this huge difference from the people that were stuck in the insane asylum where my mother worked,
Right.
and those on the outside,
Sure.
and that's where Living Insanity came from. And the question I just asked you.
Follow.
So I always wanted this band, and when I was in Japan, the Japanese got pissed off at me because I told them I wanted to be Maxx Payne. I worked very hard to create the name Maxx Payne.
Inoki or Baba?
Inoki.
Inoki.
Yeah, that was with Chris.
Okay.
And
Japan?
they were pissed and kicked my ass home because I told the reporters that I wanted to be Maxx Payne.
They beat you up in the ring.
Well, they didn't beat me up in the ring, but
I'm just curious as to what they did. You know.
Well, they just came to me and yelled at me, and it also told me that was part of the
Inoki's an asshole? What are we
It wasn't Inoki, it was Sakaguchi was the guy.
Sakaguchi. Okay.
So when I went to Germany, the first season I was there, I could play the guitar, but I wasn't as good as I wanted to be. So when I went home between 91 and 92, or 90 and 91, whenever the seasons where I was in Germany, I started the Metallica Black album. It just came out.
Of course.
And I learned every song on the album.
Okay. You weren't mad that they changed the direction?
Oh, fuck, I loved that album. I thought it was great because I was ready.
I agree.
I loved fucking Master. I loved Justice. But
I love them all.
Yeah, but, you know, Black was just the perfect transition
I
into
agree.
fucking...
it was the Hulkamania, the Hulk Hogan thing from Metallica.
Living Insanity, a fan out there, Hayes Machine, saying that it was Road Dogg on vocals, Nick Patrick on guitar.
What is going on
and
here?
Dr. Squash
That's
on
not
drums.
your band.
That can't be true, right?
That's not your band.
So hold on. So I'll tell you the story.
Oh, shit. Okay, hold on. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
It's like our audience knows what's going on.
So I...
Oh, no.
Clearly we don't know shit.
No, this is not... No, we had a real fan. This guy was a real musician. I'm not... What is this lineup?
I'm turning over
Help
the show
me
to the
out.
fans because we don't know shit. Go
I
ahead.
tap my hat to the fans. They know what...
Max, go ahead.
Well, it's because I finally started telling the story. I'm telling you, this story's going to come out. I'm going to come back, you guys. There's no way around it because when I tell you the rest of this story, you guys are going to fucking have so much fun with this. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
So I moved to... So I practiced my guitar, go back to Germany, and I finally introduced my gimmick in Germany.
Okay.
And I become Max...
To
Otto, yeah. And I finally become Max...
You liked it.
Not only did he like it, he loved it.
Otto was.
And so on the 18th... So let me just tell you this really quick part of this story because it's super important. When I was on December 14th, 1975, I went to a concert at the Terrace Ballroom in Salt Lake City. It was
Utah?
Kiss. It was Kiss.
Oh,
when they were
Kiss.
they were green.
The real Kiss.
Yeah, the first album.
With Peter and Ace.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and this was a ballroom, so this was only about
1975?
1975.
This is when they're putting out Kiss Alive.
Oh yeah,
with Eddie Kramer.
Absolutely.
Who produced my record?
That was
Anyway,
great.
next.
So
cheap plug.
I'm doing a very cheap plug.
So
I'm Wisteria Hall, Indivisible.
All right, I gotta hear this story. Maybe we'll
Let
hear this
him-
story.
it's
One
it's
at some
okay.
I
point.
did a cheap plug for 5 seconds. Keep going. Keep going. All right. Kiss.
So
You there?
Kiss, I go
Monty's
to this concert.
there. He left me at home.
From that fucking
All
day
right.
forward, I have this dream where I'm standing on stage with Kiss.
Okay.
Ace hands me his guitar.
Okay.
The fucker's hot.
During Shock Me?
Yeah, sure, why not? He hands me the guitar.
Okay.
Which, by the way, has terrible lyrics.
That is great lyrics. Leave Ace alone. That was his first vocal.
If we're going to fucking go a great Kiss song, let's go back to Strutter.
But that's not Ace singing. I'm trying to get you.
Oh,
with Ace.
I see.
Listen,
I see.
Shock
No,
Me.
this was guitar. This is Ace's guitar moment. Here, fucker.
Okay.
See if you can play this
But
with
hold
Kiss.
on.
Okay.
Is it not true that I can write a Kiss song?
No.
most of the time?
Don't. Please don't agree with him. Go ahead.
I'm gonna
say
see.
it.
Listen.
No, wait.
Listen.
Say it. Say it. He thinks that he can write a song as
true.
talented as what Kiss wrote.
Listen.
That's
Shock
rough.
me. Shock me.
Listen,
Okay,
I
I'm not
understand.
going. I'm not going to go with.
Let me tell you something.
Let's
I was
go.
in the car with my wife.
Christine 16 is great.
Christine
Leave it
16.
alone.
It says
Max,
Christine
help me
16
out.
for 40 minutes.
No,
Stop
Max,
it.
Help me out. Help me out.
I'm going to have to disagree because Kiss changed my life.
Thank you.
I mean, when I pulled that fucking 8-track out of Bowman's drugstore and saw that the first time, I went,
when the
holy
drummer writes
Max,
Beth, shut the fuck up.
Max, let's get
You know
back.
what I mean?
Let's get back on the story.
Okay. So anyway,
sorry.
I had
on,
this
Kiss.
dream, this recurring dream, and on December 18th, 1990. 2, I think it was.
You played with Kiss?
No, I played in front of a crowd in Bremen, Germany, the biggest crowd I ever played in front of.
Germany loves their rock.
18,000, and I'll never forget this because I went out there. I didn't have. You'll really appreciate this because you're a guitar player. So I go out there with a fucking piece of shit little Nady wireless in a fucking 18,000 fuck in front of.
Bringing that out?
No, because
That's all you had?
Well, these guys fucking didn't understand. Vince did this to me too.
Vince did this to me.
Oh,
Give
fuck.
Me the shitty equipment.
He did, bro. He fucking
on?
did. They just didn't.
All right, but you went out there.
So I went out there and
That's
I fucking
right.
played it. I played.
Right. God of Thunder?
And when I played one of my own writing songs.
That works for me.
When I turned it down, there's this fucking delay of about a second and a half where the crowd
over here.
You can't hear the crowd, and so I'm thinking, oh God, they're gonna boo me.
Right.
And
right,
all of a
right.
sudden, the fucking roof came down.
Okay.
They started fucking going nuts and chanting Zugabin.
How'd you perform with the delay?
It was hard. It was hard. It was really hard, but I pulled it off that night.
But you did it.
And I never had the dream again. The dream went away that night.
The dream stopped.
It stopped.
How do you explain that?
Well, it's psyche. It was because
what is that?
because I finally played in front of a crowd. Everybody
so
that was looking at me.
It through dreams.
Yeah.
And then
I finally manifested it on the 18th of December, 1992.
That's insane.
So I went to
And then Kurt Cobain showed up with his flannel and ruined his good mood from the '80s.
Oh, that's
what you
that
always.
Cobain guy ruined everything.
He
for
blames
everybody.
Kurt
Fucking
Cobain
guy.
for
That
ruining.
fucking guy
Sorry,
ruined music.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to tell you, Monty. Kurt Cobain did the greatest thing that ever fucking happened, and I'm a hairband guy. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love hairband.
Listen, I loved
Give this
90s
guy some
music.
wine.
Don't get me wrong.
This guy's all right.
But Cobain came in and just ripped the heart out of
No, he
music.
did not.
He did, but thank God he did, because fucking, can you imagine Whitesnake still trying to throw Tawny Kitane's dead body across the fucking Porsche?
Could you imagine 10 more years of the Bullet Boys?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, fuck.
Here
that's
comes
ridiculous.
Winger.
Yeah, no shit.
Here comes Cinderella.
Oh,
Get me the fuck out
yeah,
of
it was
here.
done. It was time. It was really
Dude,
time.
I loved 90s music.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But all
Pearl
I'm
Jam,
saying,
Soundgarden,
80s
Nirvana,
but
Stone
wait, hold
Temple
on.
Pilots, Smashing
80s
Pumpkins.
rock,
Alice,
dude.
Great shit.
Alice
Come
in
on.
Chains, bro.
Alice in Chains, the Black
I'm a-
Sabbath of the
I'm a
90s.
huge fan, but
With
guess
harmonies.
what? I'm sorry. She's my cherry pie.
Oh,
I mean, come
fuck.
on,
Dude.
brother.
Now that's a song. Now that's
great
a song.
That's a great song.
That
but
you
do
but
know.
you can say that if you wanted to make fun of a band, because I'm telling you right now,
Listen,
Kiss,
this is rough.
Kiss is as good of record as any other record out there. When you if you bought Kiss, and you fucking put the needle down, and that band would have sucked, you'd have walked away like that.
Right. You don't sell
Nobody in
millions
this
of
fucking
records by
planet could have
accident.
survived a shitty album.
But wait a minute.
But it
hold on.
was Kiss's
Making
album.
good music, but very simplified music. Is
But
very
that's what
different.
makes music great.
I understand.
Right.
I mean, listen to fucking hip hop. I was just listening the other day to Snoop Dogg, and Christ, it's a drum
Max,
beat and a
hold
fucking.
on, no, dude. Christine 16. It's literally
I'm not a
10
fan of-
minutes of
See,
Christine
that's-
16.
That's a
and with-
great song.
With Gene going,
Enough about Christine 16. Fuck that song. Let's talk. Let's talk about Slow Jim. Let's talk about fucking Strutter.
Wait a
Let's
minute,
talk
hold on.
about.
Love Gun?
Love
Come
Gun?
grab my love gun?
Leave
I
Love-
can write
That's
that.
the greatest
I can
Kiss.
write that.
Wait a second. That's the greatest Kiss song ever written, Love Gun. And Paul Stanley says so. Leave that fucking alone.
Yeah.
He's referring to his
All I'm
penis
saying
as a
is,
machine.
All I'm saying
Leave
is,
it.
I can write that.
Yeah.
I
No,
can write,
you can't.
Grab my love
You
gun.
cannot write Love Gun.
But you got to have the
dare
rest
you.
of the. You can write it, but then you got to have the other fucking guys pull
Yeah,
it all together to
right,
make the
like
song.
Mike
and
Well,
then-
that's why I
Monty,
get
wait a
Maxx
second.
Payne and Pharaoh.
Wait a second. It's like Mike Monty's going to come up with.
No, you're misunderstanding it. That's why I get Maxx Payne and the Pharaoh.
Oh.
I can write, though, grab my love gun. I
So-
can write that.
He's speaking from the Vince McMahon persona where he would delegate and you and I would carry the fucking tune.
You don't want to do
You
that?
realize this?
You see, that's one of the reasons I got a lot of heat, because I was a guy.
Yeah, well, that's
that they-
where we were.
They
Where
never,
did you get all this heat?
So let me finish.
Behind the scenes.
Let's
That's where we
go.
were.
Let's go with the
About 20
question, which was
minutes ago.
the Road Dogg question and Nick Patrick and all
Yeah,
that.
what are they doing?
So
singing
here's
on your
what
shit?
happened. Now I'm
Please.
going to start telling the whole story.
This is rough.
So I cashed in when I signed a contract with WCW. I was given two, basically tickets. Anybody our age knows what an e-ticket is from Disneyland, which were the best tickets back in the day.
Okay.
But they give me 2 e-tickets a month to fly back to Salt Lake City where my family was. So
wait, Max, I just got to interrupt. I'm sorry. My wife, who hates the show,
Oh.
by the way, she hates our show.
What does she got to say?
She just wants to say,
she's smart.
With all due respect, lick it up.
Oh, how about this? We're gonna fucking go the shit Kiss songs. How about this? I was made for loving you, baby. You were made. The disco fucking Kiss. Disco Kiss.
Now hold
Fuck
on
off,
a
Gene.
second.
Quit trying to make money on everything.
Please,
right,
please,
go ahead.
please. I love him. He rocks. But seriously, Dynasty. If you look at the
By
rest
the way,
of the...
Max, did you think this is the show
This
you're going
is
on?
fantastic!
You know what? I'm prepared for anything. I love this. So
there you go.
You don't have
Dynasty,
to fucking...
if you take away, by the way, which is a great song, by the way,
Yeah.
I Was Made for Loving You, is a great effing
No,
song.
it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it's not.
It
fucking
is.
Strutter is a great song.
No, I
fucking
agree.
Deuce
Listen,
is a
I'm not
is a
judging
great
that song is a rock song.
But
okay,
Strutter, put on your
I don't
white
think.
sweater.
I don't.
Strutter is.
I got to
not
be
put
honest
on
with
your-
you. I was in
It's
so.
put on your black leather.
Whatever.
That shocked me. You got the wrong fucking song. This is wait.
See, I'm one of those guys who believe in the first 3 Kiss albums. I'm
Okay.
it's kind of like.
Did you know how unhappy they were with the production?
Oh yeah, I do. And
Did you know that's why they called in Eddie Kramer, who produced Wisteria Hole's Indivisible?
But I will say this, that if they think that their production was bad in those
I thought it was
first 3 albums,
good.
I
quite
think Hotter Than Hell.
I love Hotter
It's
Than
great,
Hell.
but the production quality of Hotter Than Hell compared to the first Kiss album,
Yeah, but it
is
has
not
the-
as good.
It has the parallel to the Paranoid from Black Sabbath.
It does.
Because it's not production-wise, like, aesthetically pleasing.
Yep.
But it's
It's
to
badass.
the core, it's raw.
It's badass.
So,
But that's what I'm saying. So the first 3 Kiss albums, and I love Dress to Kill.
well, that's why they called Eddie in for Kiss Alive.
I
because
thought Dress to fucking Kill
Dress
was
to Kill's
just
great.
great.
It's fucking fantastic.
Well, that's where Rock and Roll All Night is. So
It's
I mean, you
fantastic.
got to give that album credit. So
What did you think of the Kiss later albums, like
At
Monster?
some point,
one-
I'd like Max to finish his
I
story.
will. I like Trinity.
Hey, folks, he will eventually, but we're all having a good time, and we are.
Yeah, of
our
course.
fans rule. Okay,
Of course they do.
Next.
So let's go back to the story. So here's what happened. So I
You
go
were
to
pissing
Atlanta.
everybody off behind the scenes. That's where we were.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Okay.
So I go to Atlanta, and I go to Atlanta, and when I played the national anthem, which was my introduction to the wrestling business.
Anthem.
Wow.
So I play the national anthem, and I go out there and I'm playing, and you can actually watch. If you have never seen this, you owe it to yourself to go watch this. So as I'm playing, you can actually watch the fucking crowd. They're going, oh, wait a minute. This motherfucker's playing.
This guy's good.
He's playing this,
There you
right?
go.
Really playing this.
Okay.
So I go out there and I play this, and if I would have been Bill Watts sitting behind the screen,
One of the greatest promoters ever.
I mean, how can I say anything bad about him? He gave me my break.
Love Bill
Right?
Watts.
And I didn't even get to say goodbye to the fucking guy. It broke my heart. I ended up being pretty good friends with Eric and did the road with Eric a bunch.
Okay.
But so if I would have been out there, if I was a promoter and I'm sitting in the back room and I'm watching my big fucking heel out there playing the guitar, and all of a sudden the fucking crowd is cheering for him.
Right.
Sid, get your ass out there and knock this motherfucker out.
Right.
Because look at the angle of that.
Sure.
Jesus
Sure.
Christ,
Sure.
whoever fucking knocked me out while I'm fucking playing the national anthem,
the
you gotta
audience
eat the
at
rest of your fucking life.
For the audience at home, Sid as in?
Absolutely, Sid Vicious.
Thank you.
Or fucking whatever they called him. I only know him as Sid.
Justice Vicious.
You
To
said
me,
Justice,
he'll
Sid
always be
Vicious.
Sid
He went-
Vicious,
didn't
but-
he go by Vicious in,
Vicious.
in Atlanta
Yeah,
or in
correct.
Memphis
In
when he first
Atlanta,
started?
Correct,
yeah,
correct.
Vicious.
What was the Justice part?
I would have soon as because my life was actually really doomed after that because they sent me out there with Dustin Rhodes as a heel and fucking the crowd sat on their hands the whole match because how do you boo a guy that just played the national
For the
anthem?
U.S. title, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So how do you boo this fucking guy that goes out there
Right.
and plays the national anthem?
Right.
So the fucking it was a babyface match.
Right.
You know,
Right.
instead of them looking at me and going, see, this is the problem I've said about the wrestling business that sometimes, if the goal of the wrestling business should be nothing else but making money.
Right.
Because it's not like we're testing to see who's the best athlete.
Absolutely.
It's a fucking work. So if it's a work, then the only thing you should do is make money. And I guess the thing I never understood is why nobody looked at me and goes, fuck, man, we can make some money with this guy.
Right.
And that part I'd never understood. But then as you start to see the things that happened as I did this, it makes a lot more sense why I left and why I got pushed out, if you will.
Do you think you were too similar to guys like Foley, or do you think there was a similarity?
I don't think so.
Factor?
I don't think.
I'm just wondering how you were able to filter an explanation to yourself.
I wasn't.
To give yourself
that's why
peace,
I was so fucked up, because I didn't understand it. I didn't understand.
Right.
I'd watched plenty of other fucking people make some fucking serious bullshit mistakes, and they got back in the wrestling business.
Honestly,
Sid's a classic example. Sid fucking is notorious for doing some of this stupid shit.
Yeah, but
the
difference with Sid, just to be fair, Sid had that look.
Absolutely.
He had that
it
factor.
He did. Right? No doubt about it.
Look, I want to venture into something. So, you leave WCW, you get to the WWE, right? You're there for a while. Look, we could go back and forth about Vince and his imagination.
I love Vince. Don't get me wrong.
No, I get you.
I totally love
Vince. And I'll be honest, on this show, I'll tell you.
We love Vince.
Vince is like one of my.
I'm
54 years old. He's still one of my.
How can he not? I mean,
this guy
what an empire!
Explain how you cannot, because all we see on the computer is hatred.
Yeah.
Explain that.
But
what is that?
That's perfect.
Let me ask you this:
he's the greatest heel ever.
He's the greatest everything ever.
He put you in a position. He put you in a position which I thought, at the time, was the right position, right? You're a rock guy.
At the time,
he thinks it's going to work and everything else.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to veer off to something a little bit different. So I want to talk about Shawn Michaels a little bit.
Oh, wait a minute.
You were there.
Stand still.
You were there at the time, kind of the transition into that click era, right?
Oh fuck.
So,
God.
Tell me about your experiences
that
with
had
Shawn
to be something.
Michaels.
You guys, man, I'm telling you, when I talk to guys like you, I mean this, and I'm not
There's
trying to.
guys like us?
No, I mean this in a fucking.
I didn't think there
no,
were
I mean this
like
in
us.
no.
That's
I just mean the show and the
I
fucking.
understand.
No, there's
I
nobody
understand.
like you. Come
I
on,
got
I'm talking about the show and the positive nature of coming on here, and you guys are fucking good to the people that come and talk to you.
Yeah.
I think let me just put something to you, and I want to tell the fans this, because I did leave and didn't get to explain who I am. Nobody knows anything about me. Because I left, and I really left. Because I said, fuck it, I'm not going back. I'm not going to be tortured no more. I've had enough. I'm going to go home and watch my kids walk across the stage and when they graduate from high school. And I can tell you right now, I know a lot of motherfuckers in the wrestling business that don't even have a fucking clue what it looks like to watch a child walk across the stage when they fucking get their high school diploma.
Which is a lot to give up.
Exactly.
If I said Ric Flair, would I be a dick?
It's hard. No, everybody. Fuck, I guarantee you, Taker hasn't seen any of his kids fucking walk across the stage. And if he has, he flew in and flew out the next fucking day.
Yet somehow I feel like Mark Calloway gives a shit about his kids.
Oh, fuck yeah. Don't get me wrong. Oh, god damn, I'm not saying that.
No, I know what he's saying.
I'm just saying they made the sacrifice. And I could have made the sacrifice. I could have gone back and fought, and I could have got myself in. But let me tell you what I mean by what I was saying.
Go ahead.
The reason I'm excited to be back in the wrestling business right now is because I have some hidden treasures. And in my opinion, I think they're fucking huge. I think they're really big. Because nobody knows about them. They haven't seen them.
Nice.
So my last tour in the WWF, I wanted to convince Vince that my gimmick was great and it would make him money if he'd give me the chance.
Maxx Payne.
The Man Mountain Rock.
Oh, I would have stayed with. You still felt you could make that?
I'd have done Man Mountain Rock, no problem.
With all due respect,
I agree.
I'm going to give credit to the fan, right? Because I agree with him. Davio's saying out there, Rick Boogs is Man Mountain Rock, by the way.
Yeah. And what's ironic about that is now 30 years later, it's a good idea.
It was a good idea back then.
But the problem was, so let me. You got to hear the story. It won't make no sense.
We're with you.
So here's what happened. I got to go back to WCW. This won't make any sense.
Right. Okay.
So it has to start with where the idea finally manifested itself for Living Insanity, for my band.
Origin. Okay.
I was in a dressing room one night, and Brad Armstrong, a couple other guys, we were like the last guys in the dressing room. Brad was in the shower, and all of a sudden he started singing. And I'm like, holy fuck. And right when he came out of the shower, I said, Brad, I have been putting this dream together my whole life, and I just heard my lead singer. He goes, really? And I said, yeah, you. He went, what? And I said, Brad, you're fucking badass. And Brad goes, oh, come on, Max. I said, no, listen, do you want to be, if I can pull this together, do you want to be in my band? And he said, yes. So, Mark Merrow, you know what I'm talking about? Johnny B. Bad.
We sure do.
Johnny B. Bad, about a week after I heard Brad singing, called me on the phone. And we were actually getting ready to go rehearse me shooting him in the face with the Bad Blaster. And he called me on the phone. He said, Max, I have an agent, and she came to center stage the other night and saw you wrestle Vader. And she knows about your guitar playing, and she really wants to talk to you. And I said, okay. Because I was really ready to go now. I got the singer. I already had. So Nick Patrick and I were doing the road together. And Nick Patrick, I don't know if you know this, he's a hell of a guitar player.
Really?
Yeah.
The NWO referee.
Absolutely.
What the fuck is going on here?
So
Continue.
Nick and I were practicing. Brad's there. I have a friend that I grew up with who is in a Led Zeppelin cover band.
Okay.
So he's a drummer. So that tells you how
if
good
he's doing John
Are
Bonham,
you fuck, dude? That's how I met him in school. So
he must have been incredible.
Oh, he still is. I actually tell him this. We're gonna. Yeah. So I got music coming, brother. Yeah. But he's the greatest undiscovered drummer in the world.
And if he's watching the show, you rock.
His name's Nathan Carroll, and Nathan. So I taught Nathan how to be a wrestler. I had a territory, and I taught Nathan how to be a wrestler. So now, and then I had another friend that was going to come that was going to be the bass player. He was a wrestler. Nick, and now I got Brad Armstrong.
You're incorporating music and rock together.
You're
Hogan.
Well, except the difference for me, what I wanted to do was to be incredible legit. And I thought the way to do that was to, and I had, so with Living Insanity, I had all these ideas that it started to gel. And I'd already written like 3 or 4 songs. And so when I talked to this agent of Mark Merrow's, she immediately said, yes, I want to manage you. Let's go. So I went to WCW and I said, listen, I need to buy and build a recording studio. There was a new thing coming out at the time called ADATs. And ADATs were the first digital recorders. And so I went to WCW, and they had a lady that worked in the office that I was really good friends with. And I said, do you think I could talk WCW in to cashing me out on my round-trip tickets home so I could build this recording studio?
As a trade-off.
Yeah, as a trade-off.
I got you.
And she said, her name was Paula, and she said, let me find out. She called me back. She said, yes.
Dude, that's a bold idea. And
so they
bid.
So they sent me a check for $35,000.
For how much?
35.
Okay.
And so I took that money.
In 19 what?
93.
All right,
94.
19, almost 30 years ago.
So what I did is I bought what was called the Elise's Dream Studio. It was 24 tracks of digital tape.
Okay.
I bought Neumann microphones, AKGs.
So you had state-of-the-art.
I had state-of-the-art.
Okay, fine.
And I had state-of-the-art 2 channels of preamp, compression, and what's called a TLA, which is a tube leveling amplifier, one of the best from a company. They're all tubes. Company called Summit.
At the time, it was top notch.
Very high end fucking tube shit, right?
I got you.
So I bought all that, and we went to the fucking agent's house. Brad went with us. Said, yes, I'm on. Woohoo! Signed the fucking deal. Flew everybody to Atlanta, brought all my friends to Atlanta.
So you got the rock and wrestling all synchronized.
Brought my drummer there to bought him a brand new fucking Sonar drum set.
Right.
So he comes, he's never had a brand new drum set in his life.
Okay.
So he comes and gets a brand new drum set, and we set forth to record this album. So the next day after we sign, I say, okay, we're meeting tomorrow night at this place in Atlanta I'd rented. That's a good story in and of itself. I won't bore you with that part of it. We rented this band studio, and 7 o'clock next night, all the rest of the band, Nick,
Nick Patrick, Armstrong on vocals.
Nick's a guitar player. So Nick, my guy from Nathan, my guy from there, Dr. Squash, and we all are at the fucking place. Brad doesn't show up. First fucking rehearsal, Brad doesn't show up.
After everything you put together.
I fucking got
He knew
that
you put all this together. That's great.
Next night, called him.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah, next night, he wouldn't answer the phone. He quit answering the phone. We signed the contract, he vanishes. Now I'm like, what am I going to fucking do? I just spent all my money. I got all these guys fucking here, and the phone rings, and it's Tex Schlesinger. And I can hear he's like at a bar or something. He says, Max, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm fucking depressed. And he goes, yeah, I know. Listen, I got somebody you need to meet here at the Outback. Get your ass over here.
Outback?
Yeah, steak.
You hate that steak.
Yeah, right. Well, that I did. I was still eating them then.
He hates that steak.
Well, at the time they were good. Years ago they were great.
Years ago they were good. It's
So anyway, I go to the fucking Outback. Here's Tex, and here's this fucking kid with dreadlocks, and I'm like, hey, and he goes, Tex says, hey, this is Brian Armstrong, and I'm like, huh? He goes, this is Brad's brother. He just got out of the military. He's back. This is Brian. And I'm like, wow, cool. Nice to meet you. So we fucking sat there and just laughed and drank, got fucked up. And we go, I said, why don't you come back to my apartment? We'll smiz. We'll fucking have a little, okay. So he comes back. And I had this guitar I called Pegasus. It was the fucking biggest piece of shit white fucking acoustic guitar. It was so bad. You'll really appreciate this, brother. It was so bad that the fucking frets from the 12th fret on were so fucked up. I just pulled them off with a pair of pliers and only used the first 12. But it was an amazing.
Ruined.
No, but wait a minute. No, it wasn't ruined. My son still has his fucking guitar.
You saved it.
It was amazing because it was full of magic. And you know what I'm talking about. Some guitars
it had a particular
some guitars got that fucking thing in them, and this is one of them. I wrote all my songs on this guitar, and I still have it. My son has it.
Right.
So I said to Brian, I said, I picked it up, and I started playing this song, and I said, you know this? And he looked at me, and he smiled, and I just figured out how to play plush acoustic. And he fucking started to sing. And I couldn't, I had to stop. I couldn't play. I was pissing myself. I was so excited because he was fucking blowing my mind.
Interesting.
And so I'm going, fuck me, this is great. And Brian says to me, Max, the reason I'm here is I want to be your lead singer. And I'm going, fuck you. And he goes, what? Well, yeah, no, I want to do this. And I said, if you fucking think I'm taking on the Armstrong family, you're out of your fucking mind. I am not getting in the fucking between two brothers.
Right.
He goes, what do I got to do? I said, there's only one way this is going to fucking happen, Brian. If you have Brad call me and you fucking tell Brad that he has to say to me, I fucking relieve myself and you can use my brother and you have my blessing. If Brad doesn't call me and say that, fuck you, we ain't doing this. I love you and you're great, brother, but I'm not fighting your family.
I'm surprised you took that stance because Brad had already blown you off.
Well, Brian's a completely different guy than Brad.
Right.
Brad's what I fucking.
How well did you know Brad?
Brad?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude. Brad and I had a great relationship.
One of the greatest technicians in the
world. Oh, Brad was fucking. You know what the problem with Brad was? He's too soft of a heart.
It's really important. What actually happened to Brad? Yeah. Did we ever find out why he passed?
What's the deal?
You know.
What do you know?
Well, listen. Let's just talk about the death. The death of wrestlers is usually two things.
Okay.
Drugs or a heart attack from fucking using steroids their whole lives.
All right.
I don't know. I love Brad so much. I don't know a fucking thing.
Okay.
But I know one thing, because I was one. We all were one. We were all eating fucking Somas and fucking Halcyons and fucking pain pills like they were fucking Smarties, for Christ's sakes. So, it's one of those things where Brad was one of those guys that he loved his pills like all of us. So nothing, I don't know what happened to Brad.
I heard he'd gone into the doctor, he was having heart problems, and before you know it, he was gone. And it was like...
fuck, I don't even know any of that. I just know what Brad struggled with. He had demons just like Brian. Brian will tell you. He's fucking been on, he's public that he's clean. Right. He's been clean for 11 years. And if he wouldn't have been, he'd be dead.
Well, he's already suffered a heart attack.
Oh, fuck yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. So the next day, I called Brian and I said, okay. So Brian came to the studio and we started practicing. And I don't know how to put this in any other way, but when Brian and I got together, the universe you know this really well as a musician. The universe has this very, very distinct way of sending things to you. Mm-hmm. And when it sends it to you, and then on top of that, you look back, like I look back at this and I'm like, I can't even fucking believe that I wrote this shit.
Right.
Because it for me.
It wrote itself.
It did. It really, swear to God. It's like fucking somebody grabbed my hand and put it on the paper.
I've been lucky enough to be in a couple of
bands. And it just fucking
Yeah.
came to me so fucking fast. Yeah. And Brian was the icing on the cake. When I'd take it to him, he'd go, let me put my fucking spin on it, Max.
Right.
And he'd take it and put his spin on it. So I built a fucking studio in Jonesboro, Georgia, while I was still in WCW, and we recorded 14 songs.
14?
14.
Not one or two.
When I got fired from WWF, Rude came to my house. Rude's a whole other part of my life that is amazing. The
Rude
guy,
as in?
Rick.
As in Rick?
Yeah.
Effing Rude.
Yeah, Rude.
Okay.
By the way, real quick,
one of my
cut
favorites.
into the story.
Oh, he's
another question. Are the rumors on Rick Rude true on how he passed away? Do you know anything?
I don't know
about
anything about Rick either.
Nothing about
Could
Rick.
you elaborate a little bit for the audience about how the rumors are?
Well,
about
the
how
rumors
Rick,
are one that
he
was injecting steroids into his penis.
Into his shit?
And then he passed away.
I mean, please help me out here.
He,
Does he?
I
mean,
I don't believe that.
Okay,
good.
That's good.
I think so. I heard.
hate the shit that gets
I heard all
carried
kinds
away,
of shit. I heard that he had fucking AIDS, and rather than fucking let AIDS come out, you know what?
Now hold on.
Hold on.
Either you did heroin back in those days to get AIDS, or you were gay.
Well,
was Rick Rude showing either of those?
No.
Right? No. Okay, so fuck that rumor.
So I hated that
fuck
one.
That rumor.
I hated that one. I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you honestly. I know Rude really well. Okay. I did fucking drugs with Rude.
Rick fucking Rude.
He's without a doubt.
I adore Rick.
One of my best fucking friends in the wrestling business.
I adore Rick Rude.
I can't even.
I hate hearing
about him. We did 125 miles an hour in his fucking convertible Jaguar to a fucking show in Savannah.
Why was his son not a pro wrestler? I saw him induct him into the Hall. That guy's huge.
Because he's smart. He knows because he knows better. He knows the fucking life.
Is Banner Royal wants to know what happened to your WWE guitar.
Ooh.
We'll talk about that later.
We're almost out of time. So that's
okay. So WWE guitar. I was so distraught when I fucking left the business. I fucking sold it, and I was so happy to have that fucking nightmare out from underneath my bed. I couldn't even tell you.
So it was yours,
and the funny part about it is what the fuck would, even if I gave it back to Vince, what the fuck would he do with it?
Well, to be honest,
he can't even put it in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Look, I'm not trying to play Monday morning quarterback, but if you would have held on to it to this day, dude, God knows what kind of crazy money you would have gotten for that.
But you know what? The problem with that would be that would have been a secession for me to the fact that, the WWF guitar was an incredible dichotomy to me.
Yeah.
I came up with the idea. I had it made, and then the guys that I had it made for turned their backs on me. But that's a fucking bigger story. we're not even to the good shit yet. The rock star Steve Miller is involved. In fact,
Steve Miller?
Steve Miller.
Wait, what? Fuck the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Steve Miller?
He cost me.
As he's getting inducted? I love him.
He cost me my job in the WWF.
Steve Miller?
He cost me. He didn't cost me.
Fly like an eagle, Steve Miller?
He didn't cost me my job. He cost me my career.
Steve Miller.
All right. We got about 2 minutes.
Wait a second.
We got about 2 minutes.
Oh, what are you doing?
2 minutes.
You're coming back.
Wait a minute.
You gotta
come 2
back.
minutes. Can you recap how Steve Miller cost you your career?
Oh, fuck.
He agreed to be my manager.
Steve Miller.
All the way until J.J. Dillon called me on the phone.
He's a midnight talker.
And said to me, he said, Max, I called Steve to do this thing with you. And he said no. And I said, what? He said no. I'm like, what do you mean he said no? He called me and wanted to do this. His fucking uncle was a wrestler. He's the one that called me on the phone.
How the fuck did he get in touch with you in the first place? What was his stuff?
Oh,
you only got 2 minutes.
I can't do it.
Oh, we gotta have
can't
back.
do it. I can't do it.
Rough.
It's too much, man. We really haven't got to some of the heavy shit, like my movie, my behind the scenes movie. The record that I'm going to release this year with Brian singing on it.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to contact you.
This is rough.
We'll get you back on for a recap
Wait a minute. Where
of the
does
show.
we got to get him back. Where do you live?
I live in Idaho.
What the fuck,
that's
bro?
why we got the internet. We can contact them.
That's true, too.
So,
can we do it? We can do, I do a Zoom with you.
Absolutely.
There's ways. Oh, my God.
Great interview. Real quick before we go.
Fly like an eagle? I'm shocked. What the fuck?
My opinion, did the click cost you your job?
Absolutely. Well, you know what?
Wait a minute.
Let me answer.
And the click?
Absolutely.
Hold on.
No, absolutely.
Wow.
The movie. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. We'll let the movie speak for itself. But on the night that I played in Geneva, Switzerland, I'm going to tell you a real quick story. Louis Piccoli, him and Owen Hart were fucking around in the dressing room on my last tour. And it's funny, I wanted this so bad, and they did it for me.
Right.
We're on and fucking Owen sprayed cologne in Louis' eyes, and I was working with Louis. And I went to fucking Tony Gurria, because everybody's going to have to do a battle royal, and I said, Tony, I'm the only guy in the WWF that can give you 15 minutes without an opponent. And he looked at me and went, what? And I said, let me go out and play in place of the match. Mm-hmm. And so I went out and played, and on my last night, I'm playing in Geneva, Switzerland. I finished, played Smoke on the Water, 2 of my songs, played for fucking 20 minutes. Crowd's fucking standing going, "Du ga Ben, which means do it again in Germany, man. When the fucking Germans pop, it's the most
show.
It is the most amazing feeling. Like when I told you when they did that for me after I played in Bremen.
Right.
I'm fucking going, wow, this is amazing. I walk out and there's Kevin standing here, and I said, Kevin looks at me and he goes, yeah, your gimmick's just not working, Max.
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's not working. See you later.
Well, that's what that's not on camera, but that's what he was saying. I have this movie I'm here to tell you, it's going to fucking blow people's minds because there's never been a movie like this. Wow. There's not a movie out there like this. So I took this camera with me on my last tour of the WWF, and I have a complete behind the scenes. There is shit in there, like no one's ever seen wrestlers talk about a match. I got Bam Bam and Sid talking their fucking match. I got Owen on this movie. I got fucking Yokozuna on this movie. I got Louis Piccoli on this movie.
Great.
The list goes on. So this movie will answer your question.
All right, so here's the deal. The fans are freaking out. They're trying to say delay, whatever's coming up next. Keep Max on. But look, to be fairness, so Max, let's keep contact.
We'll do again.
We'll do
fuck, we'll just call this part one. Because you know what, man? Here's the truth of the matter. So let me just tell you real quick the last thing I got to deal with. So for whatever reason, the universe throws these curves at you. So I'm at the point, the last couple of years, my guitar playing has been going downhill, and I've been working my balls off trying to fucking get my licks better, and it's been going downhill. And I went to the fucking doctor, and I have these fucking horrible carpal tunnels, and it's called the Guillain.
It's great for the wrist.
Yeah, and all my fingers are numb. So I got to have 2 surgeries after WrestleCon. But once I get done with those, I'm going to fucking finish this shit, and I'm going to fucking get this album out, because truly, the world will fucking, I really believe, the nice thing about the record is it's the first time that wrestlers have ever spoke about music or about wrestling in music. Okay. And everything we wrote at the time, everything I was writing at the time was completely about wrestling fucking and what it was doing to me. Right, it was kicking my fucking ass 7 ways from Sunday, and I couldn't figure out how to fucking get over and beat the game. And I just had so many players, and I don't, to this day, like Sean, I thought Sean and I were good friends, but, you know, Vince got some shit in his head with me, and then it just all started to cavalcade going the wrong direction, and that's why I left. It was time.
Right. What could have been.
Yep.
What could have been.
We'll talk more. I'll give you. Right. I'll do a fucking 50 interviews with you if you want.
All right, expect Maxx Payne, Man Mountain Rock on soon to
Maxx
upcoming.
fucking Payne.
Thank you, brother.
Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast in a part 2. Pharaoh, send us out.
You've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh. How far in are we? What is this?
We got one more.
We got one. No, we got 2 more.
One more.
We got 2 more.
Okay.
Either way, we got more. See you later. Stay tuned.